Bench with Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn.
Okay, here we go.
Where the plays get broken down and science gets denied.
Hey, they said I gotta come off the bench.
Hour 2 of Off the Bench, live from the Raising Cane studio.
All right, welcome back in. OTB here live from Tampa, Florida, continuing our coverage of SEC Media Days. Again, going to have 4 teams in today. It is going to be Alabama, Florida, Ole Miss, and Texas A&M. Yesterday, it was the Auburn Tigers. It was the Georgia Bulldogs, the South Carolina Gamecocks, and the Vanderbilt Commodores. So before we continue on with what we have today, was there anything from yesterday, Alex Golish, Kirby Smart, Shane Beamer, Clark Lea, that kind of stood out to you?
Yeah. They clipped from Kirby Smart and Jared Mitchell.
Yeah, I know. I was hoping to get that story.
We'll talk to him about it tomorrow. But, yeah, Jared Mitchell is doing a fantastic job.
Doing a really good job.
Really good job. He's got a little series right now at the barbershop.
The barbershop, right? Yeah.
And, funny enough that he sat down with Kirby Smart in the barbershop yesterday. And
True.
I don't know if y'all remember here on OTB, we're 2 steps ahead of the game, always, obviously. We put Kirby Smart in a power fade, a shorter
taper fade.
A standard white guy cut, and we also put him in a flat top. Yeah. Right there.
Oh, we did do the flat. I forgot about the second part of that. Yep. So we actually were way ahead of the thought process there. But the clip that's hilarious was, so Georgia, the baseball team, that Bulldog, it went to Omaha. And Kirby said he went to Omaha for the first time. And he was talking about his experience. And so Jared Mitchell, again, LSU national champion in 2 sports, baseball and football. He was the most outstanding player at the College World Series for LSU when they won a national championship. But they're talking about it. Kirby's like, man, you ever been?
It's like, so you went to the College World? Yeah. Have you ever been, Jared?
Yeah. You been? Yeah. Yeah, Jared's been there. He's had some success there.
Yeah, I've been to the College Baseball World Series. Sure have, bud.
Yeah. I had the trophy for most outstanding.
I was the most outstanding player of said World Series. So, yeah, then he probably looked at his producers like, what's this guy's deal? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he played it off well. He didn't even it was a pro move. Like, he didn't even be like, well, actually, no, he knew. He said in that moment, he knew the edit was going to be better than if he corrected him, and he was right.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is pretty great. So he's doing a great job going into his second year already with the SEC network. So. Shout out to him. So that was the funny clip that came out from yesterday. But I think that everybody, this is more and more used to getting to hear Clark Lea speak, and everybody's like, man, that guy is just intelligent. He is an impressive interview. He's impressive to listen to, and man, I can only imagine that he's impressive to play for.
Yeah. So yesterday, I was asking him because he played at Vanderbilt, so. He knows a couple of things. He knows the challenges. He knows how hard it is to win. He knows the resources, lack thereof. He knows the stadium experience wasn't great. He knows all of those things, obviously, right? I asked him, I was like, hey, kind of knowing what it was to what it is now, and I was like painting the picture of new stadium and fans of your team and your stadium and all the success. And he's like, well, it's good, but why can't it be better?
Right.
That was his answer. He goes, we can be better. Like, this can be a thing.
Yeah.
He's like, we're never going to have 100,000 people in our stadium, and that's okay. We just have to play to our advantages, and we have to continue. He goes, the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
He's like, we're in Nashville, Tennessee. It's fastest growing city in our country. He's like, for the first time, I can go on the streets of Nashville, Tennessee, and I see Vanderbilt gear. He says never. He goes, so it can be better. This can be sustained. Like, he didn't want it. He's like, this is better, but it's not the end result. It's not the end goal. So from my conversation with him, he thinks he's got a team that can replicate what they've done the last couple of years.
Yeah, I think the quote that came out from what he said at his press conference was that we're not done yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's again, everyone take a seat. That's Vanderbilt kind of talking a little confidently in the Southeastern Conference.
Yeah.
And they do. I mean, they had a season to be absolutely proud of. I mean, it was a historical season for Vanderbilt. They were in the talks to go to the playoffs.
And 10-2.
Like you could make the argument that they should have been in the playoff last year. A 10-2 SEC team. It's Vanderbilt,
right?
It's the Commodores,
and had some good wins under their belt as well.
So we will see. I mean, we know that it's going to be tough to sustain. It's tough for any team to sustain that, but can Vanderbilt do it consistently? Well, they outcoached a lot of teams last year. Yeah, they're losing a absolute playmaker and a dog at quarterback. Can they replace that? But I know they're going to be really well coached. They're going to be very well disciplined, and they're going to run their schemes exactly how the coaches want them run.
Yeah.
And they're going to do it with high effort guys. So, they're impressive. But a team that's not gone are the days. If Clark Lea is there, gone are the days of Vanderbilt being a pushover.
Like I kind of, and I did cite my source here. I was telling him, and this was off the air. I was like, hey, coach, I covered one of y'all's games last year, the LSU game. He's like, yeah, we talked before. I go, no. I was like, I know you're there. I said, but let me tell you this. I covered it, and y'all beat LSU up. And I said, and my co-host in the mornings, I was like, Matt Flynn. He goes, oh, yeah, I remember Matt Flynn. He's like, I said, he talks about how he looked out at every level and every position, and y'all were better than LSU. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. And so, they were. That's not – so I bring all that up to say, well, one, thank God LSU made changes, but it wasn't, trick 'em football. You know what I mean? It wasn't, Diego Pavia is running back there. No, they just ran Q counter and Q power with Diego Pavia and were better. And that's how they beat a lot of – that's how they won 10 games. It wasn't what people think. If you think about Vanderbilt, you're like, oh, Diego Pavia just scrambling free will. No. That's not what the offense was. There was a lot of structure to Tim Beck's offense. There was a lot of little small nuances that they just ran really, really well, and they were effective, and they were disciplined in those things. And that's how they were able to go win 10 games. It wasn't Boise State with the Statue of Liberty against Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl.
Yeah. It wasn't a pick six and LSU just fumbled a bunch. It wasn't that. It was, we're better than y'all, so we're just going to beat you at every single level, both sides of the ball, special teams.
All right, so apparently we lost them again. I'm not really sure what's going on. Their audio just went out, and I'm trying to get in contact with somebody over there to let them know that their audio went out. But clearly things are not going well today. But it's okay, guys. We're going to get it figured out. They're in Tampa. They are, yep, I'm aware. I'm getting texts about it. I'm going to take us to another break. Because that's just the kind of show today is. But we'll be back. I'm going to try to get this figured out for y'all. And, back with more after this.
Off the bench.
Yo, welcome back here off the bench. Sorry for the abrupt ending there. Still trying to figure things out. Still trying to figure out our hardware technical difficulties situation. So I don't know. Did we talk for 2 minutes and no one heard? We were giving some good stuff too.
Yeah. We were I don't know. I don't remember where we left off.
We're talking about Vanderbilt's going undefeated.
I think so. I think that's what we're talking about. Vanderbilt going undefeated. Anywho's, NC State, don't know if that's where you got left off at, but the Wolfpack, too sweet. They're coming to Nashville on the 19th. Then it gets real for Vanderbilt. You're at Auburn, you're at Georgia, you're Ole Miss at home. Yep. That's the 3-game stretch. You got to win one of those. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You got to win one of them.
You need to win one of those to keep the momentum that you've built. Clark Lea and his team have built over the last couple of years, and especially last season. You got to win at least one signature game this year to kind of prove to the haters out there that it wasn't just one magical season with a quarterback that played absolutely over his skis. So you got to have a couple of signature wins. You got to be relevant. You got to be dangerous. And so, yeah, that stretch that they. I mean, I expect them to start the season off 3-0. That's
what I do. Expect. I do too. And then the game at Auburn is going to be interesting because look, y'all hear me say it all the time. You probably get sick of it, but that place is tough to play in. Mm-hmm. It's going to be rocking. And depending on if they beat Baylor and they open up the season, depending on what their record is, like that could be an incredible venue that day. So I'm not going to just give you that game, even though I think you're the better football team. That's going to be difficult. So at Auburn, at Georgia, Ole Miss at home, that's the 3-game stretch, because after that, then it's Arkansas, it's at Kentucky, it's at Mississippi State. You're probably going to be a favorite, depending on how Kentucky is in those games, even with multiple games on the road. And then you got another bear. It's Alabama at home, it's at Florida, and it's Tennessee. But I say all that to say, if they beat Auburn and they could still lose to Georgia and Ole Miss, I do think there's a chance that they only lose one more game down the stretch and they could be a 9-3 football team. Now I'm thinking more 8-4, but they could be 9-3.
Clark Lea seems like the type of head coach, and you see these head coaches. You see these head coaches everywhere. The type of head coach that he's going to have such a well-coached team and be able to get the most out of his players, that he seems like the type of coach that's going to win almost every game he's supposed to. There's never going to be like a big letdown type game. They're going to win every game they're supposed to. And I'm looking at this and I'm seeing at least 5 or 6 games that they will probably, more than likely, be supposed to win.
Yeah.
Then you have to beat you have to win a couple that are up in the air. So I don't know. We're not like the biggest gambling show here.
No.
But
like a week.
But I like
That's the outside.
I like the over 5.5.
I do too. I like their over. I like Oklahoma's. Oklahoma's 6.5.
6.5 or 7.5?
7.5.
7.5. Oklahoma, they're going to the playoffs. I mean,
I think so too.
I think so too.
I think that's kind of the team. I'm kind of being like,
that's the sleepy team that nobody's like talking about, because I think everybody expects them to be good and relevant. But, I mean, look, they made the playoffs last year with a quarterback that had surgery on his throwing hand.
Yeah.
Mid-season.
Yeah.
They're retooled. They got improvement personnel on the offensive side of the ball. I think they're going to be much improved on offense. So, Venables is going to have the defense ready. So they're going to be a dangerous team. And that's one for, I think everybody should keep their eye on.
I'm right there with you. I know that they've got some challenging games. Certainly in the first 4 games, you got to go to Michigan and you have to go to Georgia. You got to play Texas at home. I get it. I understand all of that. I think they're a better football team than Michigan, and you got to split Georgia and Texas. And Texas is going to be in Red River. That game, you never know who to favor. You never know which way to lean. That game's so hard to predict because it's such a great rivalry game. We know the situation there, but they have to split at Georgia and Texas and Red River. I think that they split that. Okay. Then we go down the rest of the schedule, and let's go Kentucky at home, at Mississippi State, South Carolina at home. And then you got to win 2 of the next 3 at Florida, Ole Miss at home, Texas A&M at home. Then you finish up with Missouri at Florida, Ole Miss, and A&M. You got to win 2 of those. So your loss is going to come in that 3-game stretch, and you're going to have a loss between Georgia and Texas. You're 10-2. Bam, you're in the playoff.
Yeah, they're gonna win a game early.
Yeah,
and people are going to be like, oh, okay, these guys are for real. That it wasn't an accident last year. They made. I mean, just think about Oklahoma last year. Like, they made the playoff did they ever really look good as a football team? Like, they look good. Maybe I said that wrong. Did they ever look great? And where you turn on the film and you watched Oklahoma and you're like, dude, these guys are 100% legit. I don't remember that ever happening. Now, they found ways to win, to scratch and claw and get into the playoff. But I think this year it's going to be one of those, oh, darn moments that people watch. And they're going to pop off early. So
when Jim Nagy, now their general manager, I swear, almost say executive director of the Reese's Senior Bowl. It's not even Reese's anymore. He's not the executive director, but I say it every time because I'm so used to saying it. now the GM of Oklahoma football. When he sat down with us on Monday, I felt the confidence from him. And Jim Nagy's not a boastful guy. He's not going to come in here. He felt comfortable because I think he likes his team a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. It didn't look like he was BSing with us.
No.
He was pretty confident. And he said John Mateer was really strong, had a big neck.
He did.
Mm-hmm.
Said he couldn't even button his top button.
His top button.
No ties.
No ties for that guy.
Is that now we're going to bring up something you and I talked about at lunch yesterday.
Uh-oh.
There's only been one quarterback in NFL history, to our knowledge,
yes,
that won a Super Bowl that had a six-pack.
Yes. We were talking about it, and I think it's a great conversation topic. How many Super Bowl winning quarterbacks do you know of that you can't argue with it? You know that they had a six-pack.
Yeah, not that maybe, because remember, Brady's Brady now, but when he played, we all know the combine photo.
Brady is...
We know Troy Aikman now.
Brady needs a burger.
Yeah.
He's looking a little thin.
Yeah.
His face a little sunken in.
Got a little vampire to him.
Got a little vampire to him. I don't know what kind of aging stuff he's taking, but he's lost a little fat in his cheeks. He's more handsome with the little fat in his cheeks. Got to tell you. But yes, back to our point. Jalen Hurts, probably the only one that I could think of. Oh, yeah, that guy had a six-pack for sure. So is that an indictment on Mateer? I don't know. Do you think he's got a six-pack? He's got a big neck. I don't know.
Dude, you guys got a six-pack.
That's why I never got one, because I was trying to win the Super Bowl.
John Mateer's got one. I'm just going to put it out there. Yeah. If you can't button your tie, your shirt to put on your tie, you got a six-pack, bud. Unless you got a triple chin situation, then that's probably not the case.
And I will say, most championship quarterbacks would rather drink a six-pack than have a six-pack.
Unless you got a triple chin situation, then that's probably not the case.
And I will say, most championship quarterbacks would rather drink a six-pack than have a six-pack.
Unless you got a triple chin situation, then that's probably not the case.
And I will say,
repeating what we're saying in our ear,
championship quarterbacks would rather drink a six-pack than have a six-pack.
Unless you got a triple chin situation, then that's probably not the case.
And I will say,
repeating what we're saying in our ear,
championship quarterbacks would rather drink a six-pack than have a six-pack.
Off the bench. Live from the 2026 SEC Football Media Days in Tampa. Presented by FMOL Health, Our Lady of the Lake, Relief Windows, Rev Fiber, and Parrish Construction and Roofing.
All right, welcome back in. OTB here live from SEC Media Days.
Should I lead with that six-pack joke again? Got repeated a few times.
Do you think they heard it? Good gosh.
Hey, we're back though. I think everything's working. I think we're solid now.
Sure.
Yeah, so we do apologize. We've had some difficulties here, but look, we are, you roll with the punches, you got to brush things off, and you do the best you can with what you got. So that's what we're doing here at SEC Media Days in Tampa. And, yeah, I think we're back. I think we got all wires have been uncrossed. They are plugged in and ready to roll. So, what are you laughing at?
In the chat.
You guys are funny.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay.
I want to crumble these headphones. Like in my hand, just crumble them. Break them.
And, yeah, I believe that if you are following us on YouTube, I think we're starting a brand new YouTube feed as well. So, be on the lookout.
Every time Flynn said everything's working now, it's immediately crashed.
No, it just changed YouTube streams.
No, I'm saying you have said it like 3 times today.
Oh, yeah. Well, now this is the time.
Yeah.
Now this is for real.
Oh, Krista, you're so right. I blame Ole Miss sabotaging LSU.
Yeah, it is Ole Miss Day. That's exactly what happened. They saw the LSU column. They came in here. They gave us the dud wires.
Yeah.
Those sons of you-know-whats.
Yep, another comment here. Well, time to tune in to Murphy, Sam, and Jody. We lost another one, Matt.
We lost another one.
Lost another one to the law
don't
firm.
go to MSJ. Don't do it.
Yeah, we've lost best morning show to him 7 years running. What's one listener, What's one more to the old law firm?
That's not funny.
I don't know who to blame, Murphy, Sam, or Jody.
It's not funny at all. I say you blame them all.
Anywho, I'm not trying to be funny. I don't know which breakdown went over air and didn't.
Yep.
So if we repeat ourselves of a team breakdown that we've already covered, it truly is not the intention. We just don't know what went over air, what did not go over air. I don't really think we broke down Florida either way. We talked about Jon Sumrall and what we think about him. And y'all know this. It does take a lot for us to be like, yeah, Florida head coach. Let's give that guy praise. You'll see later today, like he is somebody that I think is going to be successful there. And I can understand, like, for that fan base, they're like, are you kidding? Another group of 6 coach from Louisiana when he initially got hired? But he is not Billy Napier. Him and Billy Napier cannot be more different than they actually are. And it's not to besmirch Billy Napier. Billy's personality, though, is just more laid back, talks a little slow. He had his own way about, going about his business. Jon Sumrall is going to be the guy.
Don't you be besmirching people around here.
What?
Don't besmirch anybody around here. It made me laugh.
Besmirch.
It's a good word. Was that your SAT vocabulary word of the day?
I didn't take the SAT. I took the ACT.
Was that your ACT word of the day today?
I don't know. It's one I've used for a long time.
Besmirched?
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. I'm not trying to be Bob. I used to think Bob used to have like a word of the day calendar.
Yeah, like.
And he'd come in and he'd try to see how smart he could be.
Yeah, like one of these little books that you can get, put it by the toilet and some reading material.
Yeah. So I tried to do that just because he would do it to me. Amalgamation was the other one that I tried to throw at him pretty often.
Yeah,
and
sure.
I ran out after besmirch and amalgamation though.
That's it though. But if you have a couple of good words in the arsenal, you can throw them out and people think you're much smarter than you are. So I'm listening to besmirched and I'm like, whoa, this guy smarter than I thought he was. So congrats. I'm going to use it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm not going to use amalgamation. That's trying too hard.
Bamba Gum says, Triple Chin has been discussed in detail. Yeah, we apologize. That's when the loop started happening. We were throwing out there the old six-pack joke, and we heard it too.
It was so funny. We had to play it
73 times.
Yeah.
73.
Not anymore, though.
Yeah.
Not anymore, people.
What's Adam talking about? I'm still reeling from getting called out live in front of Clark Lea yesterday. What happened?
Oh, I think I did that. I misinterpreted one of his messages. It's okay, though.
Hold on. Keep talking.
Okay. All right. Well, Jake is leaving right now. So what I'm going to do, I was pulling up, we talked about Vanderbilt's over-under season win total at 5.5, which I think is crazy low right now. But I wanted to kind of go through a list of the SEC and kind of give you the season win totals for each team, starting from top to bottom. And of course, it's no surprise that the highest season win total is the Georgia Bulldogs and Texas Longhorns at 9.5. Followed by Alabama, who is 8.5. A little surprising that they're 8.5 because they do not know exactly who their quarterback's going to be. But Alabama, LSU, Ole Miss both sit at 8.5 on the Vegas season win total. And then followed by Florida, Oklahoma, Tennessee, and Texas A&M at 7.5. Jake, what's up? We're going through the season win totals for all the SEC teams. So Florida, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas A&M at 7.5. Then Auburn, Missouri, South Carolina at 6.5. Then it drops to the bottom of the barrel. Arkansas, Kentucky, Mississippi State, Vanderbilt, all at, this one has Vanderbilt at 4.5, but all at 4.5. So.
Anything surprising to you? Take Vanderbilt out of it. Anything surprising to you?
Alabama being 8.5. That is
just because I think we're just not used to seeing that.
Yeah, and we're not used to them really not having an experienced quarterback behind center as well. So that's a little. I would have put them at about 7.5 to 8, but they're a little high that I thought.
I don't like. I'm sitting here and I'm looking at a couple of these, and South Carolina's either going to win 4 games or 8 games. There's no in between. I'm not going to talk
South
5.
Carolina's not going to win 8 games.
I don't think so either. I don't think so, but it feels like it's either going to be 4-8. Like, so there's like no in between. Like, I say that because I'm surprised that they got all the way up to 6.5.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. That is shocking to me. To have them more than Vanderbilt seems like a lot to me. What'd you think of Coach Beamer yesterday? Did you get to hear a lot of his?
Oh, I had Shane in the other room.
He impressed me so much listening to him last year. This year, I'm like, all right, I know you're going to be impressive, and I know people are going to be like, yeah, he's really confident, but I'm not falling for it twice.
I didn't. Okay, how do I say this? Because I really love Shane. He looked worn and tired.
Ooh, okay.
Like this has been, I don't want to say stressful, but probably some stresses. But like it's been an off season that he's probably had to do more hands-on type situation. And so like, look, and I'm not saying that like, oh my God, like that guy's but he just looked tired. Like he looked like he had understood that this is a big year for him, and he is going to be really hands-on. Now, he hired Kendall Briles to be his offensive coordinator. I know he loves that pairing, and they had Mike Shula last year, and it was awful. But he just looked like a guy that understands that this is going to be a make-or-break year, and if they don't win, he's not going to be there.
Yeah, he might not be, like, he's definitely the hottest seat in the SEC. Now, if they don't do well, he might not be the first coach out, and they might do well, and he's, earns himself another couple of years. But I think going into the season, at least, he has to have the hottest seat in the SEC, and that's a lot because there's a lot of first-time head coaches, there's a lot of young guys. I think that, I don't know. Do you think anybody's hotter
than Shane Beamer?
Yeah. Yeah, because there's a lot of first-time head coaches. There's a lot of.
Sorry, we're trying to. Danny Wuerffel's over there. We're trying to see if we can get him on. Shane Beamer, the hottest seat, probably. Probably so. You got so many new coaches, Matt, obviously, and so like that's going to be. They're going to get some time. I don't think Jeff Lebby's on the hot seat at Mississippi State. I don't know what Pete Golding's, leash is going to be at Ole Miss. I don't think they're going to pull Zach Arnett and fire him after 1 year at Mississippi State. I don't think that's going to happen. Even if it completely fell off, the tracks there. I don't think that would happen. So, I don't know. You're probably right. That's probably the answer there. We're going to be joined now.
How you doing?
By Florida legend Danny Wuerffel, a guy that obviously did a lot of great things on the football field, but I think the greatest achievement that he's ever had in life is putting up with Chris Doering for as long as he has. How are you? What's going on? Good to see you, Jacob Hester. Good to see you. So been really good friends with Doering for a long time, and so I've gotten great stories about y'all's relationship, you and Coach Spurrier, and how y'all all still keep in contact and do multiple events all year, every year. Feels like you are doing multiple things together. That's great, though. You were able to win a national championship. Sorry, Doering. We all, they had to get rid of you before they did that. But when you do something like that, Danny, like they last forever. And look, me and this old guy, like we were fortunate enough to win one at LSU, and it's so cool to be a part of that fraternity. You win a national championship, and like 20, 30 years later, you still get a chance to be around your buddies, be around your coach, and talk about it.
It really is. I remember playing for Spurrier, and he would say, all these things matter, but for some reason the championships are the memories that last forever. And there really is something very unique and special about it. So many of those guys I'm still really close with, and Chris Doering obviously wasn't on the team that I wanted, but was a big part of that whole career, and he's still one of my best friends. It's great memories.
Yeah. So people always ask me, they're like, man, what's the difference between a championship day? What's the difference between the DNA? And it's always the hardest thing to explain. You try to explain the relationship that you have with your teammates and your coaches, and it's always like there's this explanation out there that's like hanging in the air that you just can't find the words for. Have you ever figured out the words? Like, what separated that team above the others?
Yeah, I think you're right. It's always hard to pinpoint. You can always point to some things. There's usually a few players that are amazing, or a coach. In our case, I think Coach Spurrier was a key to that. But at the same time, there was something magical about that year. We lost the last regular season game to Florida State. And at that time, you were it wasn't like you're still getting the playoffs. It was like you're out of it.
Right.
But a lot of things happened beyond our control. Nebraska lost to Texas. Arizona State lost to Ohio State. We beat Alabama. And then we had a rematch with Florida State for the title. So it's kind of felt like the ending to a movie that you may not believe it was so perfect.
Yeah.
I guess
This sounds really familiar.
This sounds
for
very
us.
familiar for us. We lost our last regular season game. We lost in triple overtime to Arkansas.
That's right.
We were the #1 team in the country. We get bumped to like 6 or 7, somewhere around there. And so, like, we're going to the SEC championship game, and we were obviously disappointed, but it's like, hey, we still get a chance to play for the SEC. If you don't win a natty, that's the second best thing. So we were fired up for the game. 17 things had to happen. There's no way they're going to happen. And they started to happen that day.
Wow.
And we get on the plane, and this is before Wi-Fi is on a plane or nobody had real, cell phone stuff that you could find out quick. And so the pilot is getting over the PA system, telling us the scores.
You guys are freaking out on the plane.
Of these games. And so, like, they would come in, Danny, we're like, oh my God, there's one. It's like, and the big one that day was Pitt had to beat West Virginia, and Pitt was like a 3-touchdown dog, right? And it happens. And so, like, as they're coming in, we're celebrating on the plane. We're like throwing stuff up. The last one comes in. Oklahoma has to beat Missouri, and like we knew, like, all right, we're probably going to be number 2, and we're going to have a chance. And then I always say, just like I bet you feel this way as well. We could play the 72 Dolphins, and it's not going to matter because they let us back in.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. I mean, we beat Florida State 52-20 when we got our next shot at them. But I actually didn't realize how much paralleled those stories were, because same thing. We were at the SEC championship game getting ready to play Alabama, and Coach Spurrier was very much like no laughing and giggling on game day. Like, he was very serious. And we were going up the elevator. I was on the elevator with him, and the elevator opened, and guys were jumping and screaming in the hallway, and he, what y'all doing? And they're like, they said, Texas just beat Nebraska. And he's like, okay,
So Dana, let's talk about Florida now. Brandon Coach Sumrall comes over there. A lot of high expectations. And new coach, you never really know how it's going to go the first year. There's so many teams in the SEC. I have an LSU. Obviously, we have a new head coach. Y'all have a highly touted head coach coming in. So what kind of realistic expectations do Florida fans have for this year?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, at the end of the day, all that really matters is wins and losses. But, like, you can look at the way people handle an offseason, how they retain your players, how they're raising money, how they're dealing with the media. And I'm telling you, Sumrall has been an A+.
He's a stud.
Yeah.
If there was like a secret list of crazy Gator fans that had like their 10 biggest concerns, like one by one, he's just knocking those things out. So I'm really excited. I was actually privileged to be invited to be on the search committee. So with the athletic director, we interviewed all the coaches and
awesome.
got to know your coach pretty well in that process. And it was a really fascinating experience. And but at the end of the day, I mean, we are thrilled to have Sumrall. I think he did a great job bringing in the coordinators. Really excited about Buster Faulkner and what he can do, and hopefully we'll be right up there with the big boys.
Oh, there you go.
Now, one thing that's not going to happen this year that we're sad about, no LSU Florida.
I know, right?
And that game's been played. People don't realize this, I don't think, Danny. It's been played since the 70s, every year.
Yeah.
It's been the West versus East. It's been the opponent that you always knew was going to be on the schedule, and it was going to mean something. Now, you probably got a different experience because y'all had some success against LSU. But, like, for us, when we were playing, if you won that game, you were going to win a national championship almost. Like, it had that kind of stakes to it. And so we're going to miss that game, and we're going to, hope that it finds its way back to the schedule. But for you, what's your best memory playing against LSU?
Man, we had 4 good memories, but my freshman year, I just got the starting job as a freshman. I got there, and I actually had a back spasm on Friday, and I couldn't bend over. I couldn't go to team dinner. I couldn't go to the movie.
Yeah.
They gave me some shot, first shot I ever had. Felt better. I went in, and, they said LSU at night, Saturday night was going to be crazy. But I threw 4 touchdowns in the first half. And
I know exactly what game you're talking about.
Night, so that one was a pretty good memory.
Yeah.
The first visit in high school I ever took was an unofficial visit to LSU my sophomore year.
Yeah.
And I never been to a college like that before.
Right.
And a young woman named Lacey invited us into the room where the recruits go.
Yeah.
And if they had offered me a scholarship right then, I'd have been LSU Tiger. I've never seen anyone that pretty.
Yeah.
And
They put their best foot forward.
LSU knows what they're doing.
That's great. So, Dana, what is how involved are you in the game? I know you just kind of you talked about being involved in the head coaching search, but how involved are you now with the university and just football in general?
A bit. I'm real busy with the different nonprofit things that we do, but try to be plugged in.
Yeah.
My oldest son just graduated from Florida. My next son is in Gainesville, and my daughter, who's in high school, wants to go. So that kind of gets us there more often. And then being connected with this coach and the team a bit. So nothing super official. We do we kind of help support a character man of the month on the team, which has been exciting to be a part of that. And then I try to stay in touch with the quarterbacks, have relationships with a lot of the people, and just try to be an encouragement from a distance.
There you go.
I know also, like, you have a trophy that is, after your name, Wuerffel Trophy. Obviously, that's a big deal as well. For our listeners, like, tell them what that means. Like, when you are on that list, and I believe Whit Weeks is on that list from LSU, one of our favorites. I mean, like, every time we get a chance to talk with Whit, we're going to have him on. What is the trophy? What does it mean to you to have that, and kind of what are you looking for?
Well, when the group 20 years ago wanted to do it, I said, there's too many awards. The last thing we need is another award. But they're like, no, this isn't about touchdowns or yards. It's about service, which got my attention. And so we've been doing this. It's a community service award for 20 years. And then 3 years ago, we partnered with Allstate. They have the Allstate AFCA Good Works team. So we've kind of merged these programs where, like, the 11 Division I Allstate Good Works team will be the semifinalists for the Wuerffel Trophy. And then the winner of the Allstate Wuerffel Trophy will be the captain of the Good Works team. So we're kind of connected. And just this week, we announced the 163 nominees for this. And again, for me, what's cool about it is you're highlighting, so often when the players get highlighted, it's either the best player on the best team or it's somebody who did something stupid. So in this case, we're saying, no, there's great guys all over the country. And when, even adults, but especially when kids see that these guys, that they're heroes, are spending countless hours serving others. Whit Weeks has done a lot there in Baton Rouge, and recently helped renovate a room in a hospital for kids, and many, many other things. So he's just one of, again, 163 that have been nominated. It's awesome.
It kind of goes like the old saying for just news reporting, if it bleeds, it leads. Like, there's a lot of negative in college football to report on. I mean, there's all sorts of mess with the calendar and the gamble, and like you can talk about all sorts of things. And in the NIL world, there's enough content out there to fill the radio waves, the TV stations. And what gets lost a lot of times is the positive works that guys do in the community. So that's awesome that the award and people do get recognized, and we need to talk about that more.
Well, that's why we do it, and it's been great to partner with Allstate in it.
And you started a lot of your nonprofit and your things you did outside of football in New Orleans. When you were playing for the Saints.
I got involved with Desire Street Ministries while I was there, and I'm still the executive director. We work in neighborhoods all over the country now. And it's going great. We actually had a presence in Baton Rouge for a while. After Katrina, we had some kids there. So I've spent a lot of time in Baton Rouge and have a lot of friends and great memories there as well. And a few good memories on the field, as we already talked about.
I was just about to say, when he says Baton Rouge, he gets a glee in his eye. Because he was doing incredible stuff off the field, but he also remembers the 4 touchdowns in one half. I could tell.
Hey, look, if Danny Wuerffel was 21 years old right now in the year 2026, would you ever think about entering the transfer portal?
Well, not during my career there. Although it is interesting, I just told somebody the quarterback last year at Florida made more money in college than I made in my entire NFL career.
That's insane, isn't it? It's crazy.
Like, 6 years at the highest level, that doesn't really matter. And let me make more than 1 year real quick.
Exactly. It's like you can have the best season of your life, and you can just go be a free agent after that.
No kidding.
It's crazy.
It is wild. Danny, we appreciate you hopping on with us. Like I said, we've heard so many great stories about you from Chris Doering, one of our very good friends. They're all true, and we appreciate your time.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Thank you, Dan.
Keep up the good work.
Absolutely appreciate it. All right, we will step away. We've got more OTB coming right back your way when we jump back here live from Tampa, Florida.
Off the bench.
All right, go to RussellPools.com, Russell Pool Company. You are going to get your dream pool built in your backyard. It is going to be something that you absolutely walk away and you love. You've been thinking about your pool for a long time. We know that. Let Russell Pools be the one that built that dream pool. They can also maintenance your pool. They're there afterwards as well. And if you have an existing pool, you bought a house that already had one, well, guess what? They can come in. They can throw some bells and whistles on that thing as well. Go to RussellPools.com.
Sorry, Russell Pools, RussellPools.com. Your name you think of when you you think of the highest quality custom pools in all of Louisiana. Not only that, though, renovations. They can renovate if you bought a house that has an existing pool and you just need it to look better, update it a little bit, make it look a little bit more modern. They can do anything. They can extend it. They can make it smaller. They can add a hot tub. Everything, all the bells and whistles. Go to russellpools.com today for the best custom pool option in Louisiana. russellpools.com.
Live from the 2026 SEC Football Media Days in Tampa. Presented by FMOL Health, Our Lady of the Lake, Relief Windows, Rev Fiber, and Farish Construction and Roofing.
Welcome back in. OTB here live from SEC Media Days, Tampa, Florida.
Tampa.
Just had Danny Wuerffel, Florida legend, on the show there. He did tear LSU up.
Yeah.
Was that?
Fairness, LSU wasn't that. I mean,
no, they were bad. Was it 92 that he? Because I remember being a young little lad and being like, "Oh, Danny Wuerffel."
Yeah, but I don't know.
Stop throwing touchdowns.
If it wasn't Baylor, I wasn't really watching him.
I know. I think it was 92. I could be in 93 maybe. I don't really know. I just know it made me very angry because he kept throwing touchdowns.
I do know that our headset is like flaking off, like the material is flaking off. And when Danny got up, he had a little piece of our headset on his cheek.
Yeah, so joke's on you, Danny.
Joke's on you, Danny boy. He won the battle in the 90s. We won the war.
We won the war in the 2020s?
2026. We put headphone leather on his cheek.
You know, Danny started talking about all the things that he's doing, and I knew he was doing a ton in the community, and he's done a ton in the state of Louisiana, as he mentioned there. You know, as he was talking, I was like, man, this guy hangs out with Doring?
Not the same guy.
What?
Not the same guy.
But it's very, very cool.
Yeah,
and like we
legend.
said, that him and Doring have that relationship, and it is so true. Like a championship does kind of put like that final bond on who you keep up with, who you talk with, and they were able to win one in Florida the year after my guy CD left. So I don't know if you remember this game. Tommy Frazier in Nebraska beat the brakes off of Florida in the national championship game. Florida was putting up points on everyone. And Tommy Frazier in Nebraska ran the option right at them. He just scored again, in fact.
When I was, I think going into my either 8th grade year, maybe it was my 9th grade, I went to Baylor football camp in the summer, and Tommy Frazier was the running backs coach. That was one of the first times I remember ever like going, huh? That's like almost being starstruck as like an 8th grader to seeing Tommy Frazier, because I loved watching the Cornhuskers play back in the day. I don't remember that specific game you're talking about, certainly, but
that would have been, I think,
I definitely watched it.
95.
Mm-hmm.
That'd have been 95, so you'd have been 10 years old.
All right.
It's a pretty big one.
Danny, he might have entered the transfer portal though. He would have commanded if he's played as a freshman. He would have commanded a big paycheck.
That's true. I don't believe that my father would have let me enter the transfer portal, and I mean that like for real. Like I don't think he'd have been like, no, he made a commitment. We're gonna stay here, but Dad, I don't care. There's no buts. Like that's the way he would have been.
But Dad.
You know what I mean? And you can say, well, times are different now. He's 70. He's still the same.
Mm-hmm. No, Daddy, no.
Like I just don't think he would have let me do it. Now, again, too, I went to my dream school, grew up growing up around it, so it was going to be tough for me to go anywhere. I know not everybody's like that. I know not everybody grew up in Louisiana, and had like the one school they wanted to go. I mean, you're like you didn't grow up wanting to go to LSU, so I know every situation's different, but
so Danny was talking about how he was part of the committee that was able to hire and choose Jon Sumrall as the next head coach, and it just got me thinking, when maybe closer to 30-year reunion, maybe we're on a committee one day.
I'm going to be honest with you. I tried like hell to get on it this year. to get on this time. Like, guys, I know all of these guys from interviewing them over the years. Let me be on the committee. And I do got to say, they listened to me. I wasn't ever put on a committee, but at least I had an ear. Had an ear. Not two, but I had an ear. Not cool enough to be on the committee like Danny Wuerffel, but he won a Heisman. I'm pretty sure he did.
I want to be cool enough one day to just say I was on a committee. I don't even really care what it is.
Do you want to be on the low man committee for the nation's best fullback?
Sure.
I can put you on there.
Yeah, I mean, it can't be hard to choose.
I don't know. There's one of four people that you got to really break down. It can be very tedious.
I don't have to study too much. I can watch
very tedious.
I can watch 13 minutes of film and figure out who the best fullback is. Now, do we judge it based on, like, what do we judge fullbacks on this day and age?
See, we only have 15 seconds, and this is like a 30-minute answer.
Long. Okay, well, let's get into it. Let's rip it.
That's why the people are listening. For
give the people
our breakdown of fullbacks coming up next.
Off the bench.
All right, go see our friends over at Rejuvame. RejuvameMedical.com is the website, and we want you to know, okay, so we talk about it all the time. If you want your first step back, if you want to feel like your youthful self, like all that stuff is true. But the thing we want to make sure that we hammer home about all of that is how easy and quick the process is. You go in after you schedule it, and you're going to have 5-10 minutes getting blood work done. Again, I had Harlow on my lap as I was getting my blood drawn, incredibly easy. And then after about a week, right, they're going to get the lab results back, and they're going to look at your results, and you're going to go back in for about 5 or 10 minutes. And they're going to say, hey, here's what you need to get on. Here's what it is. So we're talking 15, 20 minutes total time. And when you're going home, what you need is already on its way.
That's right. Look better, feel like that youthful self again over at Rejuvame Medical. 13 locations across Louisiana at RejuvameMedical.com.